Check, check. All right, everybody, here we go. So I'm going to teach you how to automate your social media accounts. Basically, I'm going to show you what you need to know on how to automate your Pinterest, your Twitter, your Facebook, Google Plus. Actually, Google Plus just completely changed itself, so the software is going to it'll take a little while for it to update to be able to take advantage of Google Plus. But what I'm going to show you right now, I'm going to show you Mass Planner. This software is absolutely phenomenal. I can't stress it enough. I mean, it's helped me on so many different levels, and it's really going to help you develop your social media accounts automatically. And basically, what you're going to use this for, as a loan officer, is ultimately you're going to use it to add new contacts to all of your social media accounts, real estate agents, title companies, just different people that are related to the industry that you're going to be able to tap into for new business. Okay? Now, to give you an idea as to what I've been doing with it, this is a brand new Twitter account that I just set up specifically for this test. I'm following 62 people, which are basically the stock people that Twitter wants you to add. And I think I added 2 of my other Facebook accounts. Excuse me. Okay, so at this point, I'm going to use this as my example. A couple other accounts that I've used the software with. This is Dirty Leopard. This is one of my online marketing sites where I teach different things for related to online marketing. As you can see, I'm following 1,990 people. 145 tweets with 691 followers and 531 likes. Pretty much all of this was done automatically. This is a Twitter account that I set up for a title company, and they're following 2,673 people. There's only one tweet on here because we haven't done much with it other than just build its followers and use it as kind of a brand marketing tool. But there's 1,500 followers on here. And, it's consistently growing. I mean, it's always growing. So that being said, what we're going to do is we're going to set up an account, and I'm going to show you how to use Mass Planner to achieve this. And you can use it for a lot more than what I'm going to show you. You can actually automate this thing to go out and join groups, post to groups, all kinds of stuff. But I'm not going to show you how to do any of that stuff because I want you to only use this for things that I know are 100% safe. When you start going into using, joining groups and posting to groups and doing a lot of that stuff, especially as a newbie, you'll likely get yourself kicked off. So we're not going to do any of that. We're just going to focus on automating some of the social media accounts directly, adding followers, and going from there. So starting off, this here's my summary of operations. These are all the actions that my different accounts have taken. I don't even really look at this too much, but it's there if you're ever curious. This here is kind of a flash look at the different accounts that I have set up on here and the number of followers on each. My Upstager Facebook account, almost 3,000 followers. My old, my Jason Appleton Twitter account that I've never even really touched. I mean, there's 4,600 followers on there. So that's pretty much it. And it'll show you the graph. What's new? These are updates. So this is basically the kind of stuff you're going to see when you first open the software. Now, we're going to go over here to the Social Profiles tab. This is where you're going to see all of your social profiles. All right. Now, you have the status here for valid. That means that Mass Planner is able to log into your account. So what we want to do is we want to set up a new one. So I'm going to let's see here. Okay, yeah. All right, so over here we're going to go to Add Profile. Now, obviously, you're not going to have any of this stuff in here yet because you just opened it up. So we're going to Add Profile, and as you can see, you can add everything: Instagram, LinkedIn, Pinterest, Twitter, Google Plus, Facebook. So we're gonna start it with a Twitter account. All of these are pretty much the same. So setting each one of these up is basically the same. But Twitter is what we're going to use. So first thing you see here is settings. And we're going to go and let's see, I'm going to name it the Bank Builder. All right. Description, loan officer training. Tags, we don't need to worry about so much. Proxy settings, we're not going to bother with proxies because, it's just not necessary for this. Manual login, no. So I want the system to log in for me. The Bank Builder is the... Now, this obviously is assuming that you've already set up a Twitter account to use for this. And then my password, what did I set up my password to be? I don't remember. We'll try it out. So now I'm going to go to Verify Account. As you can see right now, it's pending. Went to Initializing. And we'll go back to the social profiles, and it'll show you as initializing here. So what I want this to say is valid, which means it's ready to rock. So we'll give it just a second. Basically, I'm going to go through a lot of the different, the tools and things to look for. There are extra modules. So let's say maybe you're a branch manager and you want to automate all of your loan officers' accounts. You can actually buy upgrades that will allow you to do a lot of different things. So this upgrade will allow you to create boards on Pinterest. You can increase the number, so extended multi-account. This will, for an extra $5, and these are one-time fees. So you pay the $5, and it unlocks the functionality of your software forever. The software, Mass Planner itself, is like $10 a month, which is ridiculously cheap for everything that this thing does. I can't believe it's so cheap. But I already bought one of the bigger packages, so I can have multiple. I think I can have like 15 of each. So I think I can have 15 Facebook, 15 Twitter. But I mean, you can tell by the modules on here, there's so much stuff that this thing can do. It's just ridiculous. All right, so the Bank Builder is now valid, and I want to start using this to start following people. Okay, so what happens is, so I go to Tools. Let me go back here real quick. So here in the Tools tab, I have the list of my social media accounts that I've added. So we're going to go with the one you just set up. So we're going to click that, and you're going to see all these tabs up here. We're going to get to those, but I'm going to explain all the details here first. So, ultimately with Twitter, pretty much all of these social media platforms, the idea is it's like this I like you, you like me, this whole mutual benefit thing, right? So the more people that you follow on Twitter, the more chances you're going to get of people following you back. Well, in the mortgage industry, you want to be following people like real estate agents, title companies, people that are relevant to the industry. And so you're going to get that traffic, you're going to get all the benefits associated with having a large network of industry-related people in your social media accounts. So that's what we're going to do. We're going to set this up like you're a loan officer looking to build some new contacts and ultimately grow your brand online. So here we go. So a lot of these things, the settings, we can leave default. I mean, it's not really a big deal. Everything here is pretty much set up to be safe, but wait between 45 and 90 minutes before each new operation. So what that's basically saying is, in one operation, you're going to follow between 2 to 15 people. So in any given day, you'll have a 350 person max. So that's the number of follows that you'll like, or that you'll have in a day. It's pretty powerful stuff. You can increase this if you want. There's no real reason to get crazy. You don't want it to look overly spammy. You don't want it to get too crazy or ahead of yourself. So it's better to probably just leave these things here at default. What I do check is the user has a profile image and a minimum number of tweets, and I typically I'll set that to 10, only because following somebody that's not really active at all on Twitter, they're not going to follow you back. So it's likely that they set up their account a long time ago. It's just been sitting there. The idea of this is you want to follow people that are going to follow you, right? You want to build that following base. And user bio as a minimum number of characters, okay. There are a lot of people who use Twitter, but they still haven't set up the bio information properly. A lot of that's just because they don't know what they're doing. They can log in, they set up the Twitter account, and then they'll just tweet stuff off of their phone. And so number of characters for the bio, not a big deal. User bio, username must not contain any invalid words separated by comma. Let me just tell you, use this. Come up with any word. I'm not going to type them all here, but I'm sure you can imagine. Because this is an automated system, you want to make sure that you're not accidentally following anything adult related or anything of that nature. You want to make sure that you're type in every possible word, separate with a comma. So sex, comma, drugs, comma. That's basically the way you want to set that up. Put all those words in there, as many as you can possibly come up with. Put them in there. Do yourself a favor now. Typically, because of the nature of how I'm going to show you to set this up, you're not going to run into a lot of this, but it's better safe than sorry. Especially if you start fumbling around on your own and playing with settings and things like that. You might click something that'll open you up to a whole new world that you may not want to get involved with. So it's best just right from the beginning, fill this up with as many of those kinds of keywords as you want. User has a follow ratio greater than. So you can set this up. I don't bother with it personally. It's just not that big of a deal. User tweeted within the last X days. Again, I don't really use that much either. It's a good way to really target highly active Twitter accounts. But, if somebody logs in once a week, you know what I mean, or whatever, you want to be able to capture those people. So, I know you see this start auto follow. We're not going to do that yet. We're going to click the follow sources tab. Follow people by keyword search. This is your bread and butter right here. So, for me, I want loan officers to follow me, bank managers, and all those people, right? So, loan officer. And what this does is this is going to go out and it's going to read the content on all these Twitter accounts. And if they have content, usernames, hashtags, things like that relevant to these keywords, they're going to follow that profile. Loan officer, bank, mortgage, originator. I'll just leave that at that for now, but you get the idea. Basically, any keywords that are relevant to the people that you want to connect with, throw those in there. Okay, this follow friends of target accounts. This will get you a lot more followers fast, but don't do it. Not unless you're very, very thorough on that keyword blacklist, because what will happen is if you follow somebody, then you'll automatically follow people that they follow or have followed them. It's not always the best idea. I've run into some weird things that way. Follow friends of existing friends. Again, you obviously want as many people as you can. But with these kinds of things, I would just focus specifically on people relevant to the keywords you're trying to add for. Let it grow a little bit slower, but much more safely and much more effectively. That's the way I look at things like this. So we'll go back here once we've set in the keywords, and I will start auto follow. So we'll see how many people we followed in the time that it takes me to set up the rest of the stuff with you. So follow back. So if somebody follows you, obviously it's a common courtesy to follow them back. So this, I would leave it at the default settings. Not a big deal. Boom. Start auto follow back. Unfollow. Now, I don't use this a lot starting off, but once I've really built, once I'm at like 2,000 or 3,000 followers, but I've only got like 12 or 1,300 people following me, then I kick this in. It's fine to start now. It's no big deal. Unfollow items after a minimum of 5 days after the application followed them. I would change this to 30, just because you never know. You don't want to miss anybody. 30 days. Actually, you know what? Let's just go with 20. 20 days is more than enough. Everything else, unfollow a maximum of 440. This is pretty much stock. I mean, there you go. Start unfollow. Pretty simple stuff. Favorite. So, the more active you appear to be on Twitter, the more followers you're going to get. So, these final 4 things here are ways that you can really automate your account to be much more active and interact with people. So, again, we want to use keywords relevant to the industry. Loan officer. We'll even go with realtors, because who knows? Realtors, bank manager, mortgage, refinance, APR, whatever. So that's what we're going to target, right, for our favorites. So basically, anytime tweets or something else pops up that are relevant to these keywords, my account will automatically favorite that. So what happens is that tells another Twitter user, hey, this person favorited one of my tweets, and a lot of people watch that stuff. And so what happens is you might follow somebody. Maybe at first, that's why we set the other setting for unfollow to 20 days. Maybe at first they're like, oh, okay, somebody followed me, cool. But that they see you actively getting engaged with the content on their Twitter account, you're much more likely to get a follow back from them because they know that you appreciate what they're doing. You want to be a part of their world. So that's a really good way of doing that. Everything else, I typically leave at default. Start auto favorite. All right. Retweets. I'm going to assume that some of you guys have a general idea of Twitter. But what happens, a retweet is when you're on Twitter and somebody posts something and you like it, right? So maybe it's an infogram or an infographic or something like that, and you're like, hey, I think my followers would like this too. So then you'll retweet it, and then it appears on your Twitter wall. This is a way to do that. I don't really use this a whole lot. Sometimes I do, but I do it very sparingly. So I'll set that one time per day. Skip tweets with an @ symbol, randomized publishing timers, use real-time results. Tweet must not contain any invalid words. Yeah, here you go again. I would just copy the list from from the blacklist and just paste it right in here. Sex, drugs, adult. I'll save the more graphic ones for later. But that's it in a nutshell. And this is very important. If you're going to use the retweet feature, make sure that you use this. Must not contain any invalid keywords, because you're trying to build your reputation in the mortgage industry. You don't want anything unrelated to that field really on this Twitter account. And that'll make sure that you don't. So retweet sources. Retweet by keyword search. There you go. I mean, again, this is your standard keyword. So a lot of this you could copy and paste. Refinance, mortgage bank. So there you go. And go back here. Start auto retweet. And there you're off, man. So here on the contact page, this is stuff that I don't really mess with. It's pretty powerful stuff, but I don't really mess with it because I don't mess with it. I'm not going to teach you how to mess with it. Now, keep in mind, this whole course is all about teaching you what I do to generate so much business. So if I don't do it, I'm not going to teach you how to do it. There's a lot of stuff that I know how to do that I know that I shouldn't, and I don't, and so I'm not gonna educate you on how to do it either. So that being said, that's pretty much it. You're set up. Everything is running, and here you go. So let's see. All right. So down here, all these things are active, right? And not a lot's happened in the last 2 minutes, so I didn't expect too much to. But this is how you set up a Twitter account. There are other settings in here. There's software settings. You can run Mass Planner at system startup. So if you reboot your machine, this will automatically open up. And and keep in mind, like I said, all these accounts, whether it's Pinterest, Google+, Facebook, all this stuff, setting the accounts up is the exact same thing. I mean, you're pretty much doing all the same stuff that you just did for this Twitter account. So, I highly encourage you to go set up your Twitter, your Pinterest. Pinterest is huge. Believe it or not, Pinterest is actually really big with real estate agents because they use Pinterest to generate traffic for their listings. So they're pinning listings and they're pinning other stuff. So they'll create a board for interior design, or here are a bunch of ideas for how you can remodel your kitchen and things like that, and they use that to generate traffic from people looking to do things to their home. They are homeowners. You get where I'm going with this? So you definitely want to use Pinterest to follow real estate agents, get involved, repin, do a lot of that stuff on the Pinterest accounts because real estate agents love it. This is saying no internet, so I'm getting a weird error. I don't know what's happening here. Interesting. So I'm going to have to look at that. Let's see. This account cannot access the internet. It will try back in 30 seconds. So we'll see if this plugs back in. I guess I'll just leave this running just to user failed filters. Oh, I see. So it's actually running, but for whatever reason it's saying it's not, and I am connected to the internet just fine. Okay, there it is. It's valid again. All right, so that's pretty much it in a nutshell. You've seen the modules. Now, this publisher stuff, I'm not even going to bother showing you. That stuff is ridiculously powerful. It can do a lot, but I don't use it, and there are a lot of reasons for that, so I'm not even going to go into it. This is my account. And software settings, show tooltip. So a lot of this stuff is very self-explanatory. I'm not going to go into it too much. If you Flickr API. So if you're using a Flickr account to post pictures and things like that, you can use. I mean, the possibilities are absolutely endless with this software. I'm telling you now. And to be quite frank with you, if you have a Mass Planner account and you're using the software, there's no reason why you can't have 4 or 5 different Twitter accounts. And the way I generally set up Twitter accounts is if you look at, now with these I don't, because these are my real Twitter accounts that I use for specific things. When you're setting up your Twitter account, if you can get your username, which you actually can't see what I'm clicking on, if you can get your username to be the keyword, so let's say you're and this is just an off-note tip. If you have your own personal website as a loan officer and you're trying to generate traffic in Google for a specific keyword, one of the easiest things to do is called parasite SEO. It's basically where you're setting up your username so that it's twitter.com/ loan officer or Cincinnati mortgage or whatever the keyword is. Because the more traffic and things that you get on that account, that's going to tell Google that, you got some popular stuff. The domain authority and page authority you're going to have is going to be significant because obviously it's Twitter, and it's going to help you rank. And you'll find it easier to rank Pinterest pages, Twitter pages, Facebook pages, that sort of thing, provided you're using the keyword you're trying to rank for in the actual domain name or as your username. So keep that in mind if you decide, hey, I want to have one Twitter account that's specifically for my business, for me, it talks about me, but then maybe I'll set up 4 or 5 others specifically targeting keywords relevant to my market, right? So, and I do that. I do a lot of that. So I have probably 80 different Facebook accounts. So that being said, welcome to Mass Planner. You're going to love it. And, as this is building everything for you on autopilot, you'll be able to log in, send your actual tweets, and reach a much bigger audience that you would be, organically doing this over time on your own. So I hope this helps. And have any questions or anything else, feel free to let me know. Or, of course, you can always Google Mass Planner, and that'll explain quite a bit. There are a lot of different videos about the software. And hopefully I have helped you. And I will talk to you soon.